Yeah, son. Mad kids out there getting cream for the 9-5. Bro. Yeah, and I've been doing this for a long time. Shoot the game going for fine. Alright. And this is the year when mad cats get peeled. So I'ma spark this line, kick the reel.
Bang them out.
With all this chaos in the realms of the street, your local street dog estimate and speak through. The average youth's far too slow for the skill pro. You better know, when I hit the streets, I like to glow, I like to glisten. And at the same time, stay low, listen, motherfucking thing. I'm the same, yo. My stilo is symbolic to a kilo. Cash is poppin', Kobe's cooking, beats is coppin'. Ain't that some shit? A player that used to live in rich, now sticky kid. Caught up in the ditch. In 94, Giuliani kicked down the door. In 95, niggas flip to stay alive. Peeling caps while I laugh. In the stats, we float in the app. Remy in the glass, walk the ball, then I blast. They wanna confine me, sneak up from behind me. Bust a cap in my back and put me where they can't find me. They hate to see another player pay. I don't wanna see that. They rather see it spray. But I'm like this, a Terminator, squeeze the lead off. Using verbs and nouns like rounds to blow your head off. Hitting up spots, heating up blocks. Investing in stocks like Colombian blow crops. I'm out to get cream and ain't no doubt in my mind. Fuck this broke shit, I get down for mine. I get down for mine. Nowadays, put your hands in the air. I get down for mine. Hands on the brain, I'm the shit. I get down for mine. Nowadays, put your hands in the air. I get down for mine. I hear you wanna be a player. I ain't some great shit left. Let's play a game of real nigga roulette. With this a DOA, is I spray the melee. Contact and punctuation is compared to AK. You in the day, overdose for pure funk. I'm fucking on like Tommy Gunn. My car was a boot smoke. Decapitated rappers in my trunk. I'm sick, pumping skunk, bouncing with my click, popping like a jump. I'm getting back while these clowns be zigzagging. When you talk about putting keys, come on, you're nickel bagging. I'm blasting off wings and making dollars believe it. You see, I was packing heaters with jokers with banging cheerleaders. Ain't nothing changed, it's still the same in the rap game. I'm known for banging rookies out the frame. Y'all done forgot who was the pimp from the start. Sipping vintage wine, eating a la carte. I'm phenomenal from the abdominal. Walk comedy, lyrics are sticking the brains like barnacles. Never sweet. I'm bringing the drama to the street with techniques and rolling in fleets. Ain't nothing sweet about the street, so I'm poetically ill. I'm pure like corrupt and let them shine like Fitzgerald. I got the ringer at your throat and you ain't showing no signs. K-Dep, let them know I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to 2021. How's everybody doing? This is the Black Knight. This is Gangsta Talk. Want to give a shout out to everybody who has made it into 2021. We give a shout out to my lovely co-host, Dame Frankie, who's also into 2021 with us. And we plan to do some new and exciting things this year. But before we get started on all of those things, let me say hello to Ms. Morris Anthony. How are you? Glad you can make it. Glad to see you in 2021. And we plan to kick off this new year with some new exciting stuff. We want to go in a different direction. We want to build something positive. Now, we have to understand one thing too, right? As we talk about 2021, and things that we want to do this year. we can't talk about 2021 without pointing out what happened in 2020. Because it would seem that some of the stuff that happened in 2020, especially towards the end of 2020, has already made its way into 2021 with no intentions on slowing down. There is a large group of Black people on this side of YouTube that are full steam ahead into negative propaganda because they believe this is what makes them money. They care nothing about how it makes us look. They don't care who they hurt. They don't care who gets doxxed. They don't care who gets embarrassed. None of that. All they care about is making money. I mean, you have everything from geeks who are into sex dolls and blow-up dolls to former educators who used to be educators at colleges, for some reason, no longer working at these colleges and have been banned from several media outlets, who are scamming Black people. Don't let a person with a so-called degree scam you. Don't get caught up in people talking about they have degrees. Don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in that because that's how they scam you out of money. Oh, I have a degree in this. I have a PhD in this. I have a master's degree in this, so you should listen to me. No. Don't get caught up in that because you're being scammed by a lot of these so-called people with higher education. Scamming people. I mean, one guy has a whole network of nothing but scammers. Well, he's not the only one. It's a few people out here that has a whole network of scammers, such as the conscious community inside Netta and what they're doing over there, the conscious community, nothing but scam artists over there. But every time you turn around, they're trying to sell Black folks a book. They're trying to sell you some kind of class. I don't understand. How is it that you are a professor in finance or you teach all of these things, but yet you're broke and you can't make any money yourself? I don't understand how you listen to someone to teach you how to make money when they can't make money themselves. They're making money off of scamming people. So we have this already into 2021. And unfortunately, this large group of Black people have an influence on this side of YouTube. That influence has to stop. We have to stop falling for these scam artists. We have to stop a glutton for punishment. We are a glutton for punishment. And these people, they use that to their financial advantage. They get on here and they think that they can get away with insulting you. They can get away with feeding you garbage. They can get away with feeding you drama. And that's all they have to do to Black people. They don't have to do anything else. Because Black people, as far as they're concerned, aren't worth it. As far as they're concerned, Black people are just here to consume and to make money off of. And so they feed you garbage. They feed you all of this negative propaganda. And you swallow it up and they make money off you. And then you send them money. I mean, the craziest thing I've ever seen is I sat up in the chat one night and watched the guy insult Black people left and right, and they still send him cash apps. Still send him donations. The craziest thing I've ever seen. We have to cut that out. You know, that mentality is destructive. We can't sit here and listen to people who blatantly disrespect us and then turn around and pay them for it. We have to stop doing that. That's insane. You can't do stuff like that. And we have to start breaking this influence that these Black people have on this side of YouTube. Because if we don't, then this side of YouTube will continue to be a cesspool of negative propaganda. It will continue to be a haven for scam artists if we don't break the influence. And they have a powerful influence on this side of YouTube. They have names. They have the crowd. They have people helping them. spread negative propaganda. They done goaded black women into some kind of ego contest. Every time they say something crazy about black women come running and getting ready to fight and carrying on, and don't realize by doing that you're just helping them out. You're supporting them. You're keeping them afloat. You're keeping their money coming in. You got other people scamming you intellectually, talking about early bird specials on financial campaigns. And the thing about one of these people is that they've already been exposed for scamming black people with some Asian dude. The Asian dude already pulled the rug out from under this guy. Why are black people listening to this guy is beyond me. Out here full steam ahead scamming black folks. And we have to do something about it. We have to stop falling for this. Now I'm just a small time channel. I'm working. But we have to add more voices to mine and start waking up our people so they can get out of this crazy funk that they're in, this hypnotic state of constantly feeding into negative propaganda. And not only feeding into it, but giving the people who spew this madness our hard-earned money. We have to stop doing that. This isn't about hating. This is about truth. Like, we can't continue to support people who hurt us. None of these people are here to help us. They haven't done anything to help black people. You ask any one of these people in the manosphere or red pill, what have they done to help black people? They'll tell you absolutely nothing. And they have no intentions on helping black people do any damn thing. No intention. They're just going to continue to scam. They're going to continue to do whatever they can to tear you down because they feel that you like it. Well, you got to break that cycle. You got to show them that, no, we don't like it. You got to show them that, look, we're not going to support you. We have to get out of this mental grip of whenever we see a fire, everybody go running. Whenever we hear about a train wreck, everybody go run. You got to cut it out. Or these people will continue to exploit you. And they will continue to make a fool out of you. I mean, these people are bold too, man. They make this money off of you and then call you all kinds of things. I sat and watched these guys. I watch these guys from time to time to see how they interact with black people, right? They don't even want to interact with you. Some of them have such a disdain for you, they don't want to talk to you at all. Some of them, as soon as you say something to them, they're already irate and freaking out because they got social problems of their own. They got problems of their own. A lot of these people got serious issues in real life. Many of them can't deal with people in real life one-on-one, so they come to YouTube and they can be whatever they want to be. They can put on their terry cloth towel and they can jump off the nearest couch onto the floor and say, dun, da, 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 puppy power or you know, super Negro. YouTube allows them to become super Negro. I'm sorry, super Negro. Underdog. Dick Dastardly. I mean, you know, it goes on and on and on. YouTube allows their fantasies to come alive. And they can come on here and say whatever they want. And they can say whatever they want to you and do whatever they want. And you seem to like it. You seem to pay them for it. I mean, why would they stop if you're paying them for it? It'll be one thing if you just pass by and say, okay, this person is crazy. Let me keep it moving. But it's another thing when you stop and you listen to all of these insults and the way they talk down to you and how they have absolutely no love for you or care for you. And you go into your bank account and you transfer money over to them. That's a problem. You're talking about, well, why are you hating? Well, hating, I mean, we should hate that. You should hate being treated that way. You should hate that. I mean, you just can't continue to. What's up, bro? Speak. Happy New Year. You just can't continue to fall for the same things over and over in 2021. Let this be the year where you break the influence, where you won't allow the influence to be a factor in your life. Walk away from this crap. Walk away, resist the urge to listen to BS. Walk away from this crap. Don't get caught up in these scams. Like I said, just because a person has a degree, that don't mean you have to listen to them. That don't mean anything. That don't mean that you should take their word as gospel or they're the foremost authority on any damn thing. That's just an excuse for them to sit up here and talk down to you because they have a degree. And they can say all kinds of things to you. And for some reason, you think they have credibility because they have a degree. Why you think many of them on here with these degrees? Because they're in debt. That's why they're pushing these cash apps and they want you to donate. Because a lot of them are in debt. They don't went to these so-called institutions of higher learning and amassed all this debt trying to get these degrees. And some of them, right, their degrees are dumb. Some of them have degrees in things that they can't translate into real life. Just any old kind of degree, because to say that they're a damn degree. I mean, I saw a degree, somebody had a degree in some type of philosophy or some shit. It was some kind of discipline in philosophy. I mean, I guess that's good if you want to run your mouth. But there are a lot of people running their mouths, so you got some serious competition. You even got to go up against people who are very articulate and don't have any degrees, and who is just as articulate, if not more articulate and smarter than you are. The smartest people are, there's smart people everywhere. People, not only people with degrees are smart people, and not only people with degrees can actually talk. So let's not get caught up in because somebody tell you they have a PhD or a master's degree, you should listen to them and give them all of your money. No, don't do that. Don't get caught up in that. Don't get played like that. So far, what's going on in 2021? Well, a lot of crazy white people. It seems like white people have lost their minds. Every time you turn around, I mean, for the last week, there's been white on white crime like you wouldn't believe. And they're covering it up, but it's coming out in the news breaks, not necessarily in the mainstream news, but it's coming out in one news break after another on these publications like the New York Post, right? I mean, the news breaks have been insane. And I'm talking about some of the craziest things, like one incident I saw where the son killed his parents. He had famous parents. His father used to play for the New York Jets or the New Orleans Saints or whatever. Murdered them. Some dude murdered his whole family. These are all white folks. You just had some white dude run into a church and shoot up the whole place, kill the pastor. I mean, it's just going on and on. You got Becky's losing their minds. They're charging people, shooting at people, getting shot. So I'm wondering now, are the chickens coming home to roost? All this hatred that they meant for us, all of this murderous intent that they have for us, they are now turning it on each other. And here's another thing I saw too. Ahmaud Arbery's killers, right? Those two white savages, they are asking the court to ban the word victim. They don't want this man to be portrayed as a victim. These two savages, actually three savages, all three of them should be in jail. Because what they did was they targeted this young man who was out jogging. And black people, I've said this before, you won't listen. You need to start listening. Your neighborhoods aren't as dangerous as you think they are. Okay? You better off around your own people, I'm telling you. Now, I know some of you don't think that way. You think you've been trained to think that if you go and live around white people, it's a better part of the country. The land is better. And I've heard black people talk like this. I've heard black people say, man, it's better in this area where white folks are at. Not necessarily. You're actually in more danger when you go around white folks. White folks ain't trying to let you live in peace. You're actually in more danger when you go around white folks. And it's even crazier when you move into a predominantly white town and it's like 3 blacks and some injustice happens to you there. It's crazy for you to think that you're going to get justice there. You aren't getting any justice there. I don't even know what you moved there for. You want to jog in white neighborhoods, jog in black neighborhoods. Go to the park, jog in the park in the black neighborhood. Don't go jogging and people talking, well, you get shot down there. Well, you get shot in the white neighborhoods too. Isn't that what happened to Ahmaud Arbery? Got shot. I want to know what kind of shotgun that was. It had to be a pump shotgun. He got shot 3 times. Point blank range. I don't know if all 3 shots came from the shotgun that the son was carrying, because I did see in the video, the father did fire a shot from a rifle. So I'm not sure if that shot hit him or not. But 3 shots from a shotgun or a rifle, that's overkill. That's overkill. That's not fear. It's not fear. That's hatred. That's a total disregard for life. So they murdered this young man, and now they don't want him to be called a victim. You talk about a slap in the face. You're talking about a slap in the face. Yeah, Belmore, Happy New Year. Yeah, so me personally, I choose to live around my black people because I know my black people. I live in the hood, okay? The hood ain't no different than it was 10 years ago. Now, I don't know what's going on in Chicago. There's some serious stuff going on in Chicago that I think that's being influenced by an outside entity. That's just my opinion. I don't believe black folks are killing each other like that. And if they are over there, something is wrong. But the hood, quiet, yes, you got some crime here and there. But for the most part, I understand my people. I'd rather be around my people. I don't want to go around white folks. I don't want to go around white folks at all. Over here, in your neighborhood, when you're around nothing but a bunch of black people, it's less likely that you will run into a situation like a situation in with Ahmaud Arbery. Now, granted, you do have problem areas in the community that need to be dealt with, but still, I'd rather deal with that than to be in a white neighborhood. Because in a white neighborhood, you don't have a chance in hell. A predominantly white neighborhood, you don't have a chance in hell. You don't even realize you don't put yourself and your family at risk. Because if it's one or two of you, all they're doing is licking their chops to see which one's going to get you first. You're talking about three savage racists who saw a young man jogging in their neighborhood. They had that sundown mentality. As a matter of fact, it wasn't even sundown. This happened in broad daylight. They chased him. They blocked him off. And they killed him. They blocked him off. They started a confrontation with him. Of course, he's going to defend himself because he's being attacked. And then they roll the footage while he's fighting for his life, which he can't do because he's black. See, here's the thing. White folks get to defend themselves. They get to fight for their lives. But black people, for some reason, can't. So if you see a film of a black person fighting a white person, they've already painted this narrative in people's mind that the black person is attacking the white person. But it can clearly be the opposite, right? It can clearly be that the white person is attacking the black person and trying to get in the position to kill that black person, which is what they did with Ahmaud Arbery. They chased him, they blocked him in. They started a physical confrontation with him, knowing that he was going to fight back. They're fighting because the guy probably came out, pointed that gun at him, that rifle at him, and said he was going to kill him. Somebody point a rifle at you and tell you that they're going to kill you, what you going to do? You're going to try your best to get that rifle from him and defend yourself, right? Well, that's what Ahmaud Arbery was doing. And so when you see the video of them fighting, they've already got it set to where it looks like Ahmaud Arbery is the aggressor. And the white boy is standing his ground and he's defending himself. See, most people, when they look at that video, even black people, it's okay to admit it because you have to understand you've been conditioned a certain way. But even some of you looked at that video and thought Ahmaud Arbery was the aggressor. Oh, I've heard it. I've heard some black folks sit down and say, well, if he wasn't attacking the white boy, he'd be alive. If he wasn't trying to beat the white boy up, he'd be, oh yeah, I've heard this. I've heard this from black people. Not just from black men, both black men and black women. So many of us some of us have been trained to see black people as the aggressor when it comes to whites. We've also been trained to see black people as the aggressor when it comes to other black people. So we don't have a win either way. We're aggressive against white people. We're aggressive against black people. We're aggressive against all races. Black people are just plain aggressive. We can't be minding our own business, eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, drinking some iced tea. You know, you got your old folks from the South eating some hard-headed cheese. We can't just be chilling, right? We have to be aggressive. We can't go to the gas station and fill it up on unleaded, that cheap gas that messes up your engine. We can't fill it up on unleaded, mind our own business, without somebody stepping to us and we're responding, and then we are the aggressor. Even though the aggressor is the one that started the confrontation. That's the aggressor. The one who started the confrontation. That's the aggressor. But because you're black and you retaliate, you become the aggressor. So Ahmaud Arbery was the aggressor according to national news, according to the public eye, He was the aggressor, and this savage that looked like he'd been living in a cave for 225 years was standing his ground and defend himself. Now, I also heard people say, well, the white boy had the right to defend himself via the Constitution. He has the right to bear arms to defend himself. Well, what about Ahmaud Arbery? So we got to stop letting stuff like this slide. We have to challenge things like this, right? And to do that, you have to vote for people in certain office in your city, in your state, in the Congress, the legislator. You should really focus on that legislator. Forget about the president. The president is, nah. You need these little people. You need these little people. Because they are the ones who control your life. They're the ones who are interacting every day in your life and making decisions that impact your life every single day. Forget about the president. The president is off somewhere doing something else. But Ahmaud Arbery was the aggressor. Trayvon Martin was the aggressor. You have to understand some people. We live in a time now where integrity and honor and bravery means absolutely nothing. These cowards have taken control of the narrative. It's okay to be a coward. It's okay to shoot someone in the back of the head because you're scared. It's okay to murder a child if you're a grown man. A grown man scared of a child. How about that? George Zimmerman was afraid of a teenage boy. Now, excuse me. Now, where I come from, okay, the way I grew up, you weren't afraid. We weren't afraid of kids. Because kids had a certain mentality. You're not afraid of children. Not afraid of teenagers. So this man, grown man, is afraid of a teenage boy. Goes to show you how different foreign people are to us, right? Goes to show you how they see children or how they see our children. You have some blacks that see them that way too. I can point you out several blacks here on YouTube right now that feel the same way George Zimmerman feel about Trayvon Martin. They view Trayvon Martin as a grown man and as a threat, just like George Zimmerman. And so you look at it this way, you have a grown man. It has become acceptable in this society to view black children as threats. Matter of fact, I don't even know if they still use the word child when it comes down to our children. I haven't heard them use it in a while. I've heard terms like big boy. He looks like a man. He's a big bad dude. She looks like a woman. She looks like a lady. I haven't heard the term or word child in a long time now, as it pertains to our kids. But man, white children can be damn near 30 years old. Oh, they just kids. What are you talking about, man? It's 5 of them. They're like 26, 27. Oh, they just kids. Kids? I mean, they 25, 26, 27 years old. Those are kids. If they're white, Now you want to talk about fighting shit? There's certain things that we should fight. The hell with getting in the street marching. We need to go up and tell them, listen, you need to stop classifying these grown ass men as kids, these white boys who are out here going into places doing mass shooting. These are not kids. If you notice that when they do these mass shootings, they quick to label these boys as kids. Oh, just some kid that's got a hold of his daddy's gun. But he's 28 years old. He's just a kid, just a troubled youth, a troubled youngster. Our kids are 9 years old. Tamir Rice, 9 years old, grown ass man. Not only a grown ass man, but he was a villain. A super villain, so much that the crazy ass cop who should have never been on the force. Nobody's talking. Okay, nobody talks about the fact that that cop was unfit to be a cop. Nobody talks about that. Unfit to be a cop. Should have never been on the force. Right? Should have never been on the force. He shows up, blows Tamir Rice away. He sees Tamir Rice as a supervillain, a grown man waving around a gun. And when you listen to that 911 call, right, the guy even said, well, you know what, the gun's probably fake. They don't care nothing about that. All they heard is gun. Once they heard gun, Tamir Rice's fate was sealed. It was sealed. And let me tell you something. I had an accident last year, somewhere in the middle of last year. Some of you may have known about it. I talked about it. It happened in Mississippi. It was on one of them 2-lane roads where where traffic is going in the opposite direction in a single lane. And a dually crossed over into my lane and ran right into the back part of my tandems. Had I not veered off the road, he would have ran into me head on. Right? So I pulled over down the street when I had a chance. I pulled over. Had it not been for someone who followed me and saw the whole thing, the police officer, there's 2 police officers that showed up. I noticed there were 2 different types that showed up. One showed up with some serious experience, and he had all of the accolades, all of the ribbons and whatnot. White dude, but he was more level-headed, more understanding, and more cool. He was cool. And he took the statement of the person behind me, which corroborated my story. But there was another one that showed up. Kind of like a heavyset dude with red hair. And he had another mentality. He was creeping up on the truck from the passenger side. Had his hand on his gun the whole time. He asked me to get out of the truck. I got out of the truck. Asked me what was going on. I told him. Then the police officer that got there first told him what the story was. And he said, oh, okay, so you're the one that got hit. Oh, I thought you was the one that hit and ran. So apparently somebody told him there was 2 different stories that got phoned in. One was the correct one and one was the opposite, right? The correct one got phoned in because apparently one officer got the correct story and the other officer got another story. They told him that I hit the dually and drove off. So when he came up to me, he was on some cloak and dagger, creeping around the truck, possibly looking at a dude, leaving the scene. So he already hyped up, had his hand on his gun. He didn't know what was going on. He thought, if I left the scene, I may still be dangerous. Even though everything got taken care of, I just sat there and I thought about that. I'm like, man, what if I would have panicked? What if I would have got loud with him? He already had his hand on his gun, and he clearly had the wrong story. I took note of that. Two different police officers showed up with two different mentalities and two different stories. And so I go back to the thing about Tamir Rice, right? The guy said on the 911 call that the gun is probably fake. Probably fake. Probably fake. Anybody cared about that? Only one officer cared about that, and that was the one that was driving, because he didn't have his gun drawn. And he said that he didn't know that his partner had drew before he even knew what was going on. He didn't even stop the car before his partner pulled out his gun and fired. And let me tell you something, man. To be moving and be that accurate, this guy spends a lot of time at the range. I mean, he was a dead shot, even on the move. So my thing is, okay, so he showed up, he killed Tamir Rice. Nothing happened, not that I know of. You got the guy shooting shooting the guy in the back in South Carolina, Dylan Roof, George Zimmerman, goes on and on and on. Our kids are labeled everything but kids. I had a conversation with a racist in Missouri several years ago. And I remember him telling me, at the time I thought he was crazy, but now I realized something. He was dead serious. That he believed that black kids should be arrested at the age of 3 and they should be put in handcuffs at the age of 3. What is it about that age number? What is it about that number that they know something about? At the age of 3, they want to be able to put young black kids into handcuffs and put them in jail at the age of 3. Is it hatred or is it slavery? See, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Is it hatred or is it slavery? Because when you look at the Constitution about slavery being abolished except for in prisons, if they want our kids to go to jail at that young of an age, is it hatred or is it slavery? Because you do know that the prisons, it's pretty much free labor. I mean, they get big time contracts with these prisoners. I mean, they have them make stuff. They have them out on the highways, clean up the highways for free. They lend them to other businesses. They be on construction sites. This is big business. These inmates, they get to carry their guns. In case somebody try to escape, they get to blow them away. So is it hatred or is it slavery? Is it hatred or are they trying their best to get us back into slavery by any means necessary? Now, what was that? That's funny. I've talked to him. Oh, let me scroll down here. A dispatcher conveniently didn't really say that gun was fake. Well, no, well, you know what? Yeah, Bell. No, they're clearly a child to us, but to other people, our children aren't children. We have to start understanding that as Black people, right? And we have to start making changes. Forget about all this other stuff. Forget about all of this coming together, unity, and all of that on the large scale. We have to start doing small changes right now to change our lives for the better. We have to understand and adopt the mentality that the rest of the world doesn't see our children as children. So we have to start protecting our children and fighting for our children. You even have some Black people that don't see our children as children. They're just as bad as the white supremacists. I mean, you've seen them on here. The fact that Black people listen to them is a travesty within itself, but it is what it is. But they don't see our children as children. We have to safeguard our children. And I don't think we should teach our children to be passive. This world isn't a place for passive people. Not anymore, it isn't. I mean, to survive in this world today, you are going to have some controlled savagery of your own. I mean, look what happened in 2020, right? Did anything change? Black people still got murdered. Black people still got killed. You still got fools sitting online telling you, oh, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So 2020 should be a clear indication that Black people need to do something different. It's time to do something different. We cannot continue to do the same thing. Because I assure you, the results now, if you continue to do the same thing, they are very, very costly. They're way more costly now than they ever were before. You don't want to deal with the consequences of doing the same thing in 2021. Everything has been ramped up. Everything's been turned up. Biden is already putting down the footwork, laying it out very clear for you. Look, I'm not here to do a damn thing for you Black people. At least Trump was on some, look, your schools are fucked up. What do you have to lose? Biden on some, look, I ain't trying to do nothing. I don't care nothing about you Black folks. What do you mean I said I was going to do something for you? Black folks keep thinking that these presidents are going to do something. Keep thinking that a president is going to come out and say, well, I'm here for Black people. I'm going to do something for Black people. First of all, they can't say anything like that. I don't know what you think you're waiting for. That's never going to happen. No president is going, even a Black president. I'm talking about a real Black president. I ain't talking about Obama. I'm talking about a real Black president. A president cannot come out and say that they're only going to do something for one race of people. They can't say that. You have to get into, let me tell you something. The big problem is in these small town elections, these state elections. That's where your meat and potatoes are. That's where you need to be focused at. Forget about the presidency. You need to be focused about who's chief of police. You need to be focused about who's your county clerk, who's in these municipalities. That's what you need to be concerned with, because they are the ones who impact your life every single day. That's where you need your focus. Forget about Obama and them. You need to be on that small scale Who's going to be your governor? Who's going to be your mayor? Who's going to be your chief of police? Who's going to be this? Who's going to be the top that? Who's going to be? Because they are the ones who interact with you every single day. They're the ones who make decisions that impact your life every single day. President don't even know you exist. The president's on a whole nother level. But these people in these state offices, these city offices, oh, they know who you are. Because they're the ones who allow people like Giuliani to run stop and frisk. See how that directly affects you, stop and frisk? The president didn't run stop and frisk. Giuliani did, though. And who was Giuliani at the time? He was a mayor. See, these offices count you that black people don't pay any attention to. When these elections come around, you see white folks out there in droves. I mean, you think the presidency is something. You ought to see these small town elections. Who's going to be the sheriff? Who's going to be this, that? That's important. And they know it's important. Because these people impact your lives every single day. When these elections go on, I don't hardly see black people nowhere. When they're electing a sheriff or a new chief of police, I don't see black people nowhere. Black people ain't nowhere to be found. But you know who you do see out there? White folks. See white folks out there. Okay? Who's being appointed a judge? See white folks. You don't see black folks. You don't see black folks doing nothing. Who's your senator? Who's your congressman? You don't see black folks doing anything. See white folks making these white folks out there voting for these people. Because they know how important it is. They know that these people impact your lives every day. President don't get involved in your life like that. So black people have to start learning how to vote. You need to start watching your local offices. Who's running for office? That's where you need to be. You need to be all up into your state, finding out who's this, who's doing this, and who's doing that. Because those are the people that's going to impact your life. Those are the ones that will allow bullshit things like stop and frisk. Those are the ones that will allow redlining and things like that. These are the people that you need to go after. Forget about the presidency. Presidency ain't nothing but a show. The real deal is in your state and in your cities. Who's running the show? That's who you need to be concerned with. That's where you need to make your mark. And they don't teach that to black people. They pacify you and tell you to go vote for change for Obama. Okay? They don't tell you about the mayor in your town who's a racist, who allowed poison, who allowed your water to be poisoned. They don't tell you about the chief of police, right, in your area, right, who allowed a bunch of cops to do racist tweets and racist Facebooks about black people, and allowed black cops, white cops, to get away with blatant brutality. See, your chief of police is responsible for all of that. Your mayor. These are the people you need to be getting interested in. That's what's going to impact your life. That's if you got a racist mayor like, Rudolph Giuliani, then you're going to end up with stop and frisk. If you got a racist chief of police right along with him, not only will you do stop and frisk, the brutality is going to come right along with it. And they're going to sit there and allow cops to choke you out and say that they was doing their duty under the law. They're going to allow cops to beat you to death. They're doing their duty under the law. Now let's get back to George Zimmerman for a second, right? We're talking about black kids. It's acceptable. Well, we have to understand as black people, we have to stop being surprised and start being focused. We have to start letting things. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. We have to start letting things motivate us to move. That's what we need to do. We have to start letting things motivate us to move. Like, we don't be surprised at a coward like Zimmerman. That's the way of the land right now. Because the majority of people that control this country, that is their mentality. They don't see it as cowardice. They see it as a means of surviving, doing whatever they can to preserve themselves, preserve their lives. They feel comfortable with shooting you in the back of the head. They don't care nothing about integrity. They don't care anything about honor. These people don't care anything about stuff like that. All they care about is survival. So black folks, you got to come up off that. You got to come up off that. Well, you know, he was a coward. Of course he's a coward. Well, he wouldn't have did that. Of course he wouldn't have. We got to stop thinking like that. We got to start thinking like this. They're going to do this. They are cowards. So we need to make an adjustment. We have to start making an adjustment. We have to stop thinking the same way. We can't continue to think the same way in 2021 that we've been thinking for the last 5 years. We have to start making an adjustment. Now, we don't want to incite violence. But it's very hard to quell violence with peace. I'm sure that's been done a time or two in the movies. I've never really seen it done in real life. The only thing I've seen back off violence is more violence. Now, in the movies, I've seen miraculous things happen, like people are going crazy, somebody comes stand out there with a torch and start throwing a Hail Mary out, and all of a sudden everybody stop fighting. I mean, I've seen that in the movies. I've never seen anything like that in real life. Okay. So we have to get to the point where we have to be motivated to move. We have to be motivated to do something. Now, what are we going to do to protect our children? Do we teach our children how to handle firearms? Do we take them to the range? Do we start schooling our children in martial arts, self-defense, firearms? Why not? Whites do that with their children. Other races of people do the same thing with their children. We need to start teaching our children how to properly handle arms, weapons. Chinese give their kids weapons at a young age. You ever see Jet Li working out with those swords when he was like 9 years old? Learning how to use weapons at the age of 9? The time has come for us to train our children on how to use weapons, both girls and boys. Get them familiar with guns so they build up a healthy respect for guns. Teach them how to use guns. Take them to the range to shoot. Give them in-depth knowledge about using weapons. Train them. Train them what a threat is. Train them on what to do and what not to do with guns. Get them rifles. Let them learn how to handle rifles. Start building up that type of mentality in our children so they can defend themselves. So they can carry. When they get old enough, they can carry and they can defend themselves. People say that you can't defend yourself from police officers. Yes, you can. There's a such thing as self-defense against a police officer as well. You don't have to sit there and be murdered by some crazed cop. Defend yourself and let the book fall where it may. But my thing is, we are at a situation now to where it's time to think differently. Now, people have called this all kinds of things. They've called it change. Well, it doesn't work. We haven't changed the thing. Because every time they talk about change, there's always some flim-flam coming behind it, like a Obama. Isn't that what he ran on in his first campaign? Change. It didn't change a thing. So every time we talk about change, nothing happens. It seems to be that seems to be a code word for Black people to not do anything. So we're not going to use the word change. Let's just start thinking differently. We have to think differently and do differently. We have to do different things. We can't continue to do the same thing over and over again. And we got to start fortifying our neighborhoods. Stop running away from your neighborhoods and thinking that your neighborhoods are dangerous because white people told you that they're dangerous. See, a lot of our neighborhoods are dangerous because Black people believe other people that aren't Black. They believe that the neighborhood is dangerous because somebody white said so. I live in the hood. Black people don't get down like that. Yes, is there some crime in the hood? Yes, there's a little bit. But it's not out of control. You don't got Black folks running around here, going on shooting sprees and all that stuff. Ain't nobody doing that. Most Black folks mind their own business. They want to smoke a little weed, sit in the house, watch football games. The sisters want to go shopping. They throw a cookout here and there. Ain't nobody really trying to do nothing. The only element in the Black community is the street element. That's only exists because of drugs. You take drugs away, Black people will have the safest and the quietest communities in the entire world. If you get rid of drugs right now out of the Black communities, we will have the safest communities in the whole world. Because Black folks don't do nothing. Black folks don't do nothing. Black folks keep to themselves, mind their own business. They're in the house, probably yakking on the phone, may sit outside on their porch every now and then, may have a little cookout, play a little music, go down to the mall. That's it. May go out to the club and have a drink. That's it. They don't do nothing. They're not running around the neighborhood, shooting the place up, knocking out windows and all that. Not doing none of that stuff. That's a small element in our community that's hurting the entire community. It is the drug system. And we got too many of our young boys caught up in this drug system who believe that they have to sell drugs to their own people to get ahead, to make some money. And accompany that with the loss of jobs that are being taken up by foreigners. Like I said, you can't even get a car. I remember we used to be able to get a job at a car wash. You ain't even had to fill an application out. Just roll down there early. Hey, Spike, what's up, man? You need some help today? Yeah, man, get on these cars. Make you about $60 for the day. Can't do that no more. You know why? Because the Mexicans got the stuff. I don't even, the car washes here in Virginia where I live at, nobody speaks English. If it wasn't for a clear understanding that the car needs to be washed, nobody would know how to communicate with you. You just sit, you drive up there and just sit there. Seriously. You drive up, nobody can speak English. They don't know what the hell's going on. You be like, hey man, I'm here. I want you to wash my car. No English. What do you mean no English? Is this a car wash or not? No English. Imagine that. You at a car wash, they can't speak English, and they don't know that they're at a car wash. They don't know that they're working at a car wash. They don't know that they're supposed to wash cars, right? What if they didn't know that they were supposed to wash cars? Unless you speak Spanish, you can't communicate with them, right? So you show up, they don't know they're supposed to be washing cars, and they're working at a car wash, and you can't speak Spanish, and they can't speak English, so you just show up and you just sit there. Like, hey, what's going on? And I never know English. Well, this is a car wash. I came to get my car washed. No English. No English on a car wash, bro? How is it that you got a big sign that says car wash? That's no English too? I mean, I don't, no English. So now you done took your no English ass somewhere else. So it wasn't for the fact that they knew that the cars need to be clean, nobody would be able to communicate with you. That's how bad it is at these car washes. They don't even speak English anymore. And so now you can't just go there and make a few dollars. So now they done took that away from you. They done took away the warehouse jobs. There are no Americans no more working at warehouse jobs. It's a competition between Jamaicans and Spanish people, and even some Africans. You don't even see no American dudes in there no more. Okay, and so you got that element that's in your neighborhood of them selling drugs, and that little gang element, right? Because all of that works hand in hand. So that's what's hurting your entire community. You take that out of the community, man, we'll have the safest communities in the whole world. Black people aren't violent like that. We don't go around, doing stuff like that. Most black folks mind their own business and on their porch, cackle and talk, drink, maybe play some cards. That's it. Go check out the car, maybe go for a lazy ride around town, go down to the mall, come back, throw a little cookout or something. Other than that, that's it. Black folks don't do nothing. When you ain't got no gunshots going on, and you ain't got no stuff going on down the street on the corner with Lil Ray Ray in them, right? Black communities are some of the most quiet communities you could ever be in. There's times in my community I can hear a pin drop. Seriously. If it wasn't for the ambient noise like birds and stuff like that, you can hear a pin drop. That's how quiet black folks are. Black folks are very quiet. Even when they running their mouths in their house, you don't hear them because they're in their house. They don't spill all out into the street all loud like people think they don't do that. Now sometimes they do. They may have some family coming in. But that's only for a brief moment. Until they get in the house. And then they're in the house cackling, you don't hear it no more. I've gotten up early in the morning and went outside. I've gotten up in the midday and went outside. And all you hear is birds and stuff chirping. And cars going by. You don't see no black folks doing nothing. You don't see black folks outside going crazy. You don't see none of that, dude. Like I said, if you take away that one bad element, we would have the safest communities in the whole world and the most quiet communities in the whole world. The only action in the black community is with that drug scene. And that brings gang members. You get rid of that, you have the most beautiful, quietest, safest communities in the whole world. And I've lived in several hoods, and I'm telling you, it's the same everywhere. They're very quiet. Black folks are laid back. Most black folks in the house doing stuff, man. They ain't got time to be they're in the house either messing with their computers, they're online, yakking it up on Facebook. Dame?
Yes.
What'd you come off mute for?
Sorry.
So most black folks are in their house, yakking it up on Facebook, YouTube, mind their own business. You hardly ever see black folks, especially now during the pandemic, you don't hardly see black folks nowhere. They come out, they get where they got to get with their mask on, and they back at the house. They ain't even trying to be on the street. So now the neighborhoods are even more quiet. They ain't got their kids out there. The kids are in the house. Now they like really focused. They sticking and moving, right? They get out there, get where they got to get, and they back home. Especially since the pandemic. Yeah, so man, it's just that one element that you can tie everything to: the hoodlums, the gangbangers, and the drug dealers. That's that one element. I'm telling you, if you remove that element, we would have the safest communities in the whole world and the most quiet, the most salubrious. Black people have salubrious environments. It's just marred by this bad element. You know, with the drug selling, the gang banging. You get rid of that crap, we have salubrious environment. Our communities are salubrious. They're beautiful places to be. They're very quiet. Some of them are so quiet and so serene, you can come sleep outside on your porch. Because black folks aren't violent like they keep saying we are. Black folks are very peaceful, very laid back, don't want to be bothered, do most of their talking in the house. You don't see them out in the street screaming, carrying on. You do see that element down there on the street, though. But most black folk, you don't see all this going on. So it's better for you to be around your own people. Exactly. So the streets are quiet. So I'm trying to tell you, go look at your neighborhood again. Right? And ride through your neighborhood and pinpoint where the problem areas are. The only problem areas you're going to see are the avenues where they make it okay for them to sell drugs. That's the only problem area you're gonna see. You get when you leave that element, you go to other places in town, other places in the community. It's all quiet. It's nice. It's clean. People have better attitudes. You can speak to Miss Johnson, Mr. Johnson, sitting on the porch. Mr. Johnson probably eating some hard-headed cheese. Mind his own business. They just chilling. Might have a couple of brothers in the backyard building something. It's a nice, quiet neighborhood. It's a nice, quiet neighborhood until you get down to that area where all of the crap is going on at. And that's what makes the entire community look bad. That makes the entire community look bad. And you look at it this way. If your communities weren't salubrious and serene, right? If they were such death traps, then why are they trying to gentrify you out of them? They know that you have beautiful neighborhoods. They want them for themselves. And you actually believe that your neighborhood is bad and their neighborhood is better, even though they're trying to take your neighborhood from you. And they want to move you out there in the boonies, in the woods where all the wild animals at. They want to be able to come in the inner cities just like black people and have access to all of the stuff. Man, we got access to everything. You have beautiful environments. Only you think that they're bad. Because you've been told that they're bad, and you got other black people who are sellouts telling you that they're bad and they want to move out of the ghetto. No, move into the hood. Don't move out of the hood. Move into it. If anything, we need to get together and push this bad element out. You get rid of this bad element, you'll have some of the most salubrious environments on this earth. Peaceful and serene. Okay, and with that being said, Dane, are you available?
No.
Are you available right now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take over for me for a few minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, I'm going to leave you in Dame's hand. I'm at the end of my rant, but I'll be back in about 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, as I was trying to say, until New Year's, neighborhoods were quiet. I mean, there's a few people outside, but they in their yard, So this was like the noisiest New Year's. Midnight New Year's Eve was the noise. Well, actually, they were popping before that, but it got really loud for New Year's. I guess because I was outside bringing my aunt to work. So I got to see the display for midnight. Since we didn't do the big city one this year, I guess each block they were doing their own for the. I noticed it was like in areas where the kids are, or one group they went to the shopping plaza. It was empty because you had more room, and they could just set off a whole row of them. I was like, whoa, this is even better. Because it's like right there at my door. All I had to do was pull out the chair on the grass and just watch. Yep, from each corner. One block here, the next thing you know, it's like they were outdoing each other. Next block over there, and then another block to the left. I was like, whoa. So, yeah. But, I didn't hear about, families abusing each other in black families. I've heard of it in the pink people areas, because they couldn't stand be locked up with each other that long. I heard them say, "I gotta get away from them before I kill them." Wasn't too much of that. It was, there was, thinking about, how they're gonna do the homeschooling thing, who's gonna do what. There was a little bit of an extended family thing where, even though they were like separate households, they were all one family. Or one of them who, because her job was like one of the few where they did the paid quarantine, she had all her grandchildren, all her nieces and nephews, grandchildren, they all came to her house, and she made sure that the kids were doing distant learning, and they had stuff to do because their parents was working. Quite a few of them, their parents work in hospitals, and so it figured it'd be easy if the parents didn't have to worry about if they caught it at work that they'd be bringing home. The kids ain't there; they with her, and and she was Facebooking all these ideas of what she done, and giving people ideas, who's asking questions. I saw men who were able to catch up on things they needed to do for themselves, their families, and stuff like that. Their job, some of them got released a little later than others, depending on their company. I saw them doing stuff all through the neighborhoods, starting off with their houses, their parents' houses, their homeboys, or their good friend, or their wives, people, you name it. It started seeing like every week, as more and more men were being released to quarantine and stuff like that. I know that first week of quarantine, well, the first week the men went on quarantine because there's a bunch of them that have whole sets of jobs that didn't release them right away. Okay, the first week you didn't see them too much, or there was a lot of barbecuing and stuff like that. It's like they were catching up on rest. And then the following week, I saw them all through the neighborhood, doing things. I saw a father and son fixing a fence. He was showing. They were rolling out in this case they were rolling out a toolkit, and they were on the side of the fence, and he's talking to us. And I'm driving by. I'm seeing him talking. He's doing repairs to the fence. I seen one doing a car, and I seen others repairing cars. And then the biggie, I'm seeing roofs on houses being worked on. I'm seeing houses being worked on, and different repairs. I've seen family property where there's a house that needs to be torn down. They never got around to it. They would do, each brother that had time, since you might have 1 or 2 days off, they did a little bit. Shoo. During the quarantine, I seen almost the whole family. All the brothers, they came, tore down. One of them got equipment and was loading up the trash bin with the tear down debris. And it was gone. 1 minute the house was there. It's like, ooh, they're never going to get around, it being piecemeal. The next thing it was down, and then the bin was filling up and had to wait for it to go, and then now it's empty. Taking care of property. One of them, he has property that's overgrown. He finally got time to take care of that property, and now it's pretty much cleared up. There's some trees that's still out there, but they gotta wait for the electric people to cut them out the lines. I know, because I pass near them almost every day. Okay, well, while we're celebrating the new year, sometimes you take what you learned from the past year and you do things differently this year. Like the knowledge that you gained from last year, you use them to the, and that's why it's a celebration because it's a new slate. Because now you got new information, and you can. There's an opportunity to do things differently or better. Okay, so that's why we're celebrating the new year. And most of the time, like the fireworks display, I think it was a chance for the kids to have something look forward to. You know, being cooped up in the house, and not being able to go as much as they can because they got to be careful and stuff like that. Sometimes they need a little fun. So for a lot of the kids, the fireworks display was fun. It was it's just something fun for the kids to enjoy. hmm So celebrating the new year, why not? It's a new year, so that means it's time to do new things. Is take what you learned from the previous year, either don't do them in the following year, or take it and do better. hmm Yeah. So it's kind of like a new slate. Yeah, yeah, I understand about you're not celebrating holiday, but a New Year thing is not just European. It's across the world. Everybody celebrating New Year. It's just that we have different times of what we think the New Year's is. Because we're on the state, the New Year is January 1st. That's the beginning of the new year. You go to different other countries, their New Year is probably different. Although now that I guess we became colonized or European centric, except for like Chinese and Asians and stuff like that, the New Year is pretty much the same around the world. hmm Yeah, just like every country in the world has a harvest a harvest celebration. hmm Yeah, yeah. Shoots, I don't see why people are all excited about Mardi Gras, and fascinated with Mardi Gras in New Orleans and Carnival in Brazil and I forgot what all the others and stuff like that. That's basically a European concept. I think that came from something to do with the Catholic religion. It's just that Louisiana, before it became part of the United States, was owned by France and Spain and France again, but they still Catholic countries. And it evolved because when the French Revolution came, you know, the French of Louisiana was so used to kings and kings and stuff like that. That if they gonna make them a king, that's why there's a king of a carnival. Okay, enough about the Louisiana history lesson. But shoots, careful on the streets, love. Yeah, yeah. It's a little slower, but yeah, um we're having. It's kind of funny to me, our gentrification is not quite like the other gentrifications because it's like an invisible line of the white and the black neighborhood, and it's starting to blur out. What used to be a strictly white neighborhood is now gradually turning black, and what used to be a strictly black neighborhood is just starting to slowly get white, or there's a few sprinkle of white people, in what was typically just a black neighborhood. It's like, okie dokie, what are these white people doing here? But had to find out they were living there. Oh, we used to them being on their end of town, but as I said, there's still some areas, but it's further out where it's just strictly white neighborhoods. But it's getting further out and out and out and out. You're trying to move to a white neighborhood soon. Well, if you stay still long enough, the white neighborhood come to you. Yeah, just grandfather into your own neighborhood, and since they seem to like to gentrify everything, you'll be there. Just like there used to be white neighborhoods that gradually turn black, and it'd be that one white family or that one white person that I live here all my life. This is my home. I ain't moving. You be that woman. Trust me. The way I'm here in California is moving. Your neighborhood is either gentrified white or gentrified Hispanic. But no, I don't know the way some of these Hispanics that's coming into California are acting. If your neighborhood is gentrifying Hispanic, yeah, move. But because some of them have these attitudes. But here in my little town, the only ones we see are the ones that come. Uh, they're not illegal. I guess you could say legal. They got work visa and they work at the crawfish plant. And you know what? You know what's really weird? Over the years, because we see the same ones. And, is you start their faces are starting to become familiar. Usually they were just a blur, but they don't stay. They didn't stay. They didn't used to stay. We'll have them seasonally, and then they will go. Oh, okay. You're in an apartment. Oh yeah. Yeah, that could be annoying. If you at the bottom, you hear people walking over you. To the side, you hear people moving around the side.
Okay, I'm back.
Hello.
Hey, sorry about that. Y'all had to take a quick break. So what's going on? Where we at?
Well, let me see. We wandered into what's the purpose? A New Year's celebration. Trying to move out of a house from an apartment to a house.
I think it's just like, New Year's celebration.
Hmm.
I think it's just another program for black people to keep black people complacent, to keep black people from focusing on things that they have to do. All of these things that catch our attention, all of this entertainment. If you notice, people, they keep us entertained. They don't get us involved in anything serious. Okay, they keep us entertained, and those who are involved in anything worthwhile are coons. Most of them are coons, but they are very big on entertainment when it comes to us. I was watching a show done by Ice Cube a while back. I don't know if anybody remember this, but he had a tall white dude on there who was pretending to be black. They had put makeup on him and everything, and he had went out in town to experience what it was like being black. Okay. The one thing I paid attention to when they asked him what did he know about black people, right? One thing I noticed what he did not say. He did not use the word intelligent. He did not use the word smart. He used none of those words. What he used was things like strong, superior athlete, powerful, fast. Didn't use any cerebral terms such as or any intellectual terms or anything that pertain to us having a brain that we can use to think with. Nothing that said that we were smart or intelligent. Everything had to do with athleticism and entertainment. Oh, they're funny, they're good comedians, they can dance real well. That's what he knew about black people. And this is the person that Ice Cube sent out into the wild blue yonder to experience being black. They put black makeup on or whatever. I don't understand how nobody could see that he was white, but that's just, I guess it fooled some people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we are court jesters. And New Year's celebration is the same thing. There's no need for us to have these long celebrations. Now, again, you can be thankful for seeing another year. But when it comes to us, it's always a celebration or a prolonged celebration. Like, we have the reputation of partying all the time. People don't take us seriously, but black people love to party. Black people like to go to clubs, right? I remember I was watching, what's that show with Simon on it? America's Got what? American Idol?
American Idol?
Right. I remember I was watching American Idol, right? And they had a group on there. It was the one that had that light-skinned kid with the afro named Corey. The one that was having an affair with Paul Abdul. And there was these other brothers, right? They made it to Hollywood. Now, they was there to do business. They was there to handle business. They're supposed to be in their rooms that night working on a song for the next day. But when you turn the camera on, and you know what? And they like doing this. They like showing you how stupid we are. They like showing you how we don't have our priorities straight. They love doing that. And they put the camera on these two guys. One dude's kind of short, stocky, right? He going out to the club. Yeah, I want to go to the club. Maybe one dude was like, well, man, we need to go and study for this song. No, I'm going to the club, man. What you talking about, man? I'm going to the club. And so he goes out to the club. The cameras follow him. And what does he do at the club? He has a drink. He smiles a little bit, dances with a female or two, don't get any phone numbers. But just to say that he was there, he's smiling and he's dancing and he had a drink. You could do that any old damn time. Why did you choose that time to do that? When you had something very important to do. You came there to handle business. You didn't come there to club. I mean, think about what you're doing at the club, people, right? They got us so hell-bent on going to clubs. You don't realize that this is a programming that's been programmed into you. They got you so hell-bent on going to club. What is it? What do you actually do in the club? You go there. For one, you can't hear anything because everybody's talking and music is playing. I don't even know how you even communicate. I've been in a few clubs. I can't even, I mean, you can't even talk. Okay, so you go there with your friends. You try to meet people. You have a few drinks. You go, you do some dancing. And then you go home. If you're lucky, you got a phone number too. You got somebody you can mate with. Okay. But then you go to the next club, you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. It's the same shit. So you're going to tell me that this dude couldn't wait until he handled business first before he went to that club. And he ended up losing everything. He ended up getting kicked off the show. And it was embarrassing. They did it in front of everybody. They made a public display and they kicked both of them off the show because they showed up and tried to. First of all, after he went to the club all night when he was supposed to be studying for his song or whatever, He had the nerve to have an attitude in the morning like he was tired. He wanted to go to sleep. So he tried to rush through what they had him doing, and he thought that he had it made, that they was just going to let him go the next day. No, they threw his ass out and they sent him home. And they love showing it. I'm telling you, they love showing this. They love showing this to the world, how stupid Black people are and how immature we are and how we don't have our priorities straight. They love showing that. You got the other people there who are of different nationalities. They're up there studying, working on their songs, getting their shit straight because they understand that they have an opportunity of a lifetime. These Negroes don't give a damn about that. They out there clubbing. And Corey almost got it too. I hate to say that he survived because he was light skinned. But I'm thinking that the other two brothers was dark skinned. They got the axe quick. But it's kind of hard to defend that behavior though. Right? You can't sit up there and say, well, they were wrong for doing them like that, when you knew you had an opportunity that you were supposed to take care of. You wasn't there to go partying. But you see, that party mentality, man, it hurts us. We aren't being taken seriously, and we're not looked at as people who are serious about accomplishing anything worthwhile because we have too much of a party mindset. Everywhere we go, it's a damn party. Everywhere we go, it's a damn jamboree session. We twerking or we dropping it like it's hot everywhere we go. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm cool with the talent that my people have, but we have to put things into perspective and put things into order. We have to get our priorities straight. Okay? Let's stop twerking at McDonald's. Let's stop doing stuff like that. Let's stop, blowing opportunities of lifetimes because we want to party. Those brothers blew an opportunity. They could be, and you know what? And both of them brothers can really sing. But that did not save them. Their incompetence did not save them. I'm sorry. Their incompetence, I'm sorry. Their talent didn't save them. At the end of the day, them being incompetent and doing things like that and not taking their priorities seriously, that is what ruled the day. And they lost that opportunity. And those brothers could sing. They probably would be superstars right now. Had they took that thing seriously, I have no doubt in my mind they probably would have won it all. I mean, they could really sing. If anybody, y'all remember that American Idol I'm talking about the two brothers, actually all three of them went out that night. Corey, the tall light-skinned one with the afro, that sounded like Michael Jackson. It was him. That whole group went out that night and went to the club. Corey got a second chance. And like I said, I want to believe he got one because he was high yellow. The other two brothers, they were out of there. They were gone. They got smoked. And they should have. Because they was doing the most. Hold on one second, y'all.
Okay. Yeah. Well, nobody was going out partying this time. We weren't even trying.
Savannah, this is your first time living in an apartment? Well, I mean, apartments, depending on what dwelling you live in, if it's a gated community or if it's a decent building, some of them could be messed up too. Especially if you got drug addicts that live in the building. It's always causing trouble. Always got something. Okay, I got to deal with something. Dane, take over for me real quick. And Kim Yoon and them wants to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they want to know what
We just started. We're talking about the new year. We're talking about things in the new year We're talking about changing the mentality of Black people. We're talking about doing things different in 2021 and leaving bad things that we did in 2020, leave them behind. We have to do things differently this year. We can't just talk differently. We have to do differently this year. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about things in 2021 that we need to do different. I'll be right back, Dane. Take over for me real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, this year, from what I've seen, no, nobody was trying to party. They were just trying to get their food, cook their food, get their groceries, maybe get their liquor. They want to have their little party in their house. Yeah, that's why the eggnog was disappearing off the shelves. Bring in the New Year, New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, and have the eggnog and the brandy. Let's see. I was glad that they restocked for New Year's Eve because I killed mine for Christmas Eve. But yeah, it's about not learning from what you did this past year. Either not do it anymore, take what you learned and do better, or starting a clean slate with the new year and move forward. And so yeah, so if we celebrate, okay, we're celebrating the ending of the past year, celebrating a new beginning. Yeah, yeah. Although, something, I hadn't been really out and about talking to people. I didn't hear nothing about New Year's resolution. I'm so used to it. But right now, we're thinking about, I guess our New Year's resolution is because we was about to go into a Daniel fast. So, hey, can't get no more resolution than that. But that's only for 14 days. Okay, who's actually half black, half Korean? Okay, whoa. Okay. Okay. Well, you're my second half Korean, half black person I met. I met the half Vietnamese, half black. Oh, y'all live in Korea? Okay, so y'all just trying out new channels? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I understand, wanting to have your own house and settle in. Cause I went to stay with my aunt in Dallas. The walls were so thin. If you turn off the TV and let the house get completely quiet, we can hear very clearly the conversation the people next door was having to us, because their front room smacked up against our kitchen. So yeah, uh, it wasn't too bad. And the other couple were smack next to the bedroom. Their their kitchen, I think, was up against one of the bedrooms. It's okay until they start fighting. But after a while, we got to the point where whatever was going on in the neighbor, we I never really saw them because I think they worked the night shift and stuff like that. But you can hear them. Oh, when they had an argument. So I can understand wanting to have your own place to get away from um, uh, um, be all the knowing your neighbors too well without knowing them. You know, Shucks, we had some neighbors. I can almost do a clockwork. I know that at at 5 o'clock in the morning, the neighbor upstairs would be just getting off of work. I would hear him taking a shower, and then he goes to bed, which means that from like at least 7 until about 3 in the afternoon, he don't hear no noise because he works the graveyard sleep and he just wants to sleep. And he's grouchy about it. You ever had somebody above you stomping on the floor to tell you to shut up? But that was easier during the week because hey, we be going to work. So everybody was out the house for at least 6 or 7 o'clock. So it worked out perfectly. It's the weekends that was the problem, at least for him. And so I try not to do my serious noise until like at least 3 in the afternoon, which is so which drives my aunt crazy because she wants me to clean up. And if she wants me to clean up the way she wants me to clean up, I gotta have music. I don't care. She had strictly gospel. I was cool with that. What? Who was timed out? Okay, wait a minute. Let me look at my phone. That way I can see. Okay. Well, it could be because this is mostly a black channel. Let's see. We've been friends for a long time. Sometimes I like to go to random stream and listen to what people have to say. Really? Oh, wow. Like a okay, physical fight. Okay. I don't know exactly what she said. Oh, hey, Mika. I don't know. Either that or the person that timed her out knows her and figures she's trolling. We do get occasionally trolls. Trolls will be kicked out or she broke a rule. Oh, that was an accidental accident. Oh, that was an accident. Okay. I didn't think there was anything said that, that would get her kicked out. Hmm. Yeah. So, rules is don't come in here with any fighting. No calling each other, calling anyone the B word. Well, don't call any women in here a B word. Um, and there's only so much trolling we would tolerate. You come in here on some bullcrap, the moderator's just gonna kick you out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, oh, hey Hassan. Okay, we got a few new people in here. One of them's Korean black. The rest of them all Korean. They just curious. I'm trying to give them the rules about coming in here. This, no, not really into swirling. So no. Oh, and please make your in English or don't say anything at all. Icons maybe, but uh the I don't remember what's the but either use English lettering, the alphabets, or not. Otherwise, we're going to assume that you're talking about us or cursing us out or saying names or being racist. So please remove that cling pop and either do it in English or don't do it at all. I'm just gonna make the assumption, and then I'm gonna kick you out for 5 minutes. So I'm gonna give you time to take it off yourself. Okay. Clean Park is half Korean, half Japanese. Young is Korean, and Minjun is half Korean, half Thai. Okay, Clean Pop. Whatever that was, that symbol that you put up there, I don't know what it is. We're asking you to remove it, or we're just going to assume you're saying something bad, and we're going to remove it. So you either take it off, or we'll take it off, and you'll be timed out for 5 minutes. Oh. Okay, well, she should have saw it by now. Remove it. Yeah. Okay, that was an accident, Kim. Oh, you did? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm looking on my screen instead on my phone because I'll see everything, whether it's been taken off or not. Let's see. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Clean Pop. Okay. All right. So back to what we were saying. Yeah. So if you just translate for somebody, take it off as soon as possible yourself. Yeah. Okay. So New Year. Yeah. Yeah, it can be. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Yeah. Okay, you don't need the cart. You don't need the cart. No. Then I have to pick it up. Oh, okay. All right. Whatever's easier on you. It's easier. I just drag it. Okay. Okay, y'all. Sorry, I was talking to my aunt, making sure she got it. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, I didn't hear no New Year's resolution this time. I think since a lot of us over the years have had resolution and haven't been able to keep it all the way through the year, especially when it concerns to weight loss, exercise, giving up certain things that we like. I think there either be no New Year's resolution being done, or they're gonna use the fast as kind of a kicking off for the New Year's resolution. I've seen that happen, where they're not certain what they want to do, what they want to either give up or do differently. And during the Daniel fast, they'd be fasting and praying, and or they'd be jumping start whether they'd be able to keep that lifestyle of giving up certain things. Like for me, it would probably be carbs. I'm supposed to be giving up carbs. If it ain't a vegetable, I'm supposed to not eat it. But I'm a bread person. Bread, cereal, especially cereal. I'm a cereal milk fiend. So that's a little harder for me, and it seems like the more I try to get away from it, the more I get into it. But during the fast, you have to give up bread. Any bread type product that's used yeast or leaven. Hmm. Yeah. So if I can get past the 2 weeks, if I could, I feel like the 2 weeks of jumpstart, I can continue it on further. I have done it, but usually my max has been about 3 months. 3 months. I was able to continue it 2 months after I completed my Daniel fast. Oh, y'all vegan? Okay. I just been curious about vegan. Is it just vegetables or is it raw vegetables? Yeah, I heard I'm not the only one who's not vegan. I've heard from several people that's been vegetarians and um, who tried it's a gradual process, especially if you already come from where you just eating meat and a lot of different things. Like my one of my uncles is he's not vegetarian. He'll still eat chicken and fish. It's just that he got away from red meat, a lot of mm, you know heavier meats and stuff like that. Yeah, that's another thing. A cheese. I'm a cheese fiend. I think it'd be harder for me to give up the cheese than the carbs. I'd be a tie between the two. Vegan just means that you don't eat meat and things that comes from meat like milk and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. So, well, we're doing the thing to help lose weight is a lifestyle change called a 1 o'clock challenge, where we don't eat after 1 o'clock. The first month is to get used to eating before 1 o'clock. So after 1 o'clock, you don't eat anything until the following morning, and then you eat until um, and then you don't eat no more till after 1 o'clock. So the first month, you just get used to not eating after 1 o'clock. So there's certain things that you're restricted on, but not a lot. You know, usually is stuff that's been processed foods, white rice, white bread, white potatoes, sugar. Well, not necessarily sugar, but kind of cut and fruit juices, which has a lot of hidden sugar. You kind of miss burgers, though. Don't worry, they ain't racist. I mean, you have always been nice to me, and they do a lot of things for Black Lives Matters and respect Black culture a lot. Hmm. Oh, okay. Hey, Max. See you back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, newcomers. Oh, come on in. Hello, hello. Thank you. All right. Have a good day. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so what happened?
Oh, okay. Yes. I knew people are in Korea, and let me see. Let me roll back. Let me see. One of them's half Korean, half Japanese, half
Mm-hmm.
Korean and Thai. Let me find where she said it all. Roll back. When we got into the vegan, okay, half Korean, half black. Let's see. Okay, let me scroll down. Where she talked about the other friends. Okay, so we kind of wandered into New Year's resolution, eating healthy. I started talking about the one challenge. Yeah, find out what it means to be vegan.
A vegan.
Yeah,
They don't eat meat.
no vegan, no dairy, no meat at all, no cheese. That's like that, and that's gonna be
Uh-huh.
hard. Yeah, let's see.
Well,
Vegan just means that you don't eat meat and things that come from meat, like milk and stuff.
right. Well, it's a very healthy way to live.
This
Um,
stage trying not to give up being vegan.
I think that we already defeat our purpose when we think we can't do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as soon as you say it's going to be hard, then it's going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, excuse me. We've been taught to think so negative of ourselves.
Oh, wait a minute. Clean Pop is 15.
What's that?
Clean Pop said it means I'm 15. She's 15.
She's 15.
That's what it seems to be saying. Yeah, I mean I'm 15. Clean Pop, you're an adult channel.
Okay. Clean Pot. This is not a channel for 15-year-olds.
Okay, are your buddies on the age too?
Excuse me?
Kim says, and the rest of them are 16.
Okay, y'all too young to be on this channel. I mean, it's not that we talk about, we don't talk foul or anything over here. We don't say anything X-rated, but we are adults here, and there will be some swearing from time to time, which is inappropriate for young people. I thought we had our filters on.
I thought so too. We're gonna have to go back in and check it out. Something must have came undone.
Yeah, it's not a channel where we get crazy or anything, but still, it's not a channel for young adults. You have to be at least 18 years old to be in here. I don't understand what happened to the filter. We had the filter on. What happened to it?
I don't know.
You think they're okay? Yeah, because we don't really trip out in here like that, though. We don't really say crazy things, but every now and then you do got some stupid fools that come in here that don't have any respect for anything. She said she swear to.
Yeah. Keep them here, Max. The babies want to learn.
All right, y'all. Just be careful. Understand we got young people in here with us, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Kim Pop, Clink Pop, whatever that's supposed to mean.
Kim Young and wait a minute, I hadn't heard from the other one in a while. Naya and Min June. Sorry if I'm butchering your names, girls.
But anyway, so like I was saying, getting back to what I was saying, right? There's so many things that we have to do differently here in 2021. Now, so I was saying that we've been conditioned to wait a minute. Yeah, we've been conditioned. Okay. Min June? Is that how you pronounce the name? Min June? That's a pretty cool name. So like I was saying, yeah, as black people, we've been conditioned not to, um, we've been conditioned not to do anything positive. Everything that we say or everything that we think about ourselves have been conditioned into us to be negative. So in 2021, we have to do things different. We can't just talk about doing things different. We have to actually physically do things different. That's the only way you're going to do something different, by actually doing something different. You can't talk about doing something different. You have to actually put the work in to do something different. I've already seen that bad contingent of black people from 2020, already finding their way into 2021 with every intention on influencing this side of YouTube for the worst. Again, they don't care about any black progress. They don't care about none of that. All they care about is lining their own pockets. So as black people, we have to take it upon ourselves to physically start making changes. Again, we have to stop supporting people that don't have our best interest at heart. We have to stop supporting these people. We have to stop going to chat rooms to where we're constantly being insulted. And then after we are insulted, we dig deep into our pockets and give them cash that we pay them for insulting us. We have to stop doing these types of things in 2021. We have to break away from the influence, the negative influence. Clean pop, yeah. Well, I hear what you're saying, Clean Pop, but unfortunately, in reality, we do get judged by our skin color. At least black people do. I'm not sure how it is for people who are of mixed race. Like I believe one of you said that you have Korean and half black. I'm not sure how it is for you, but I know for black people, we're constantly judged by the color of our skin. Oh, very much so. As a matter of fact, not only is it a thing, Min June, but it's claiming a lot of lives. They're taking people's lives, young people. It's claiming a lot of lives. We're really up against it here in America with racism. So we have to find some kind of niche, and we have to start working together. We have racist cops who are murdering our children left and right. They're running into our homes, shooting us. So we have a lot of racism we have to deal with over here. Yeah, I've been to Korea a couple of times. It's a little different over there than it is over here. Over here, it's pretty bad. It's really, really bad. Like I said, I don't know how it is for people of mixed race. I don't know what you guys go through. I know what we go through as black people, being black. I know what we go through. And we don't want to talk about it, but what can you say? There's nothing else to say. I mean, it is what it is. It's right here in our faces, and it's something that we have to deal with every day. I mean, imagine driving in your car, Naya, and you have to worry about if you get pulled over by the police officer for no reason. You have to worry about if you're going to survive that encounter or not. Even if it's something small as as a small traffic violation that usually is just a quick ticket and then you're on your way. Not so much for us. You know, it's a life and death situation now. Even if we get pulled over by the smallest infraction, right? It can cost us our lives. Yeah, I witnessed racism most of my life, and it's always been towards me. Really? I didn't. You know, when I was in Korea, when I was in Pohang, I didn't get that. I'm not saying it's not there. You know, when I was in Pohang, you know, I didn't realize it was racism. It probably is, like you say. Like I said, I don't live in Korea. I have visited there. Oh yeah, definitely Min June. It's no doubt. I've never been to Seoul though, Clink Pop. I have been to Pohang though. I've never been to Seoul. I lived in Japan. I was in Japan for a while too. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. You know what, Naya and Clink Pop? Keep coming around. I'm going to be doing a show. I'm putting together a show. We have our you haven't seen her yet, but the more you come, you'll see her at some point. Her name is Victoria, and she lives in Ghana. We're putting together a show of foreign black people, even mixed black people. Like, you know, I don't know what you consider yourself. If you have Korean and you have black, what do you call yourself? Do you say I'm Korean? Do you say I'm black? Or do you say you're something else? This is great. This is really interesting. And that we have some mixed breed foreign people in here. This is great. So what do you guys identify yourselves as? Or do you just say that I'm just look, don't call me nothing. I'm just a person. Okay. Like Malaysian. Okay. That means a black Asian. I like that. I, I like that. A Malaysian. I like that. Oh, that's kind of like a that's kind of like telling somebody, look, shut up. I'm Blasian. Okay. Now get out of my face. I like that Blasian. Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we're gonna put the. Is there a lot of Blasians in South Korea? Yeah, I don't really want to. Yeah, I agree with you now. You know, don't you? Aren't you tired of that though? Everybody want to know what race you are, and I'm sick of it too. Like I know A. Marie, a famous singer. She was black and Korean. I believe she was a Blasian. Um, Blasian. So how do you get treated as a Blasian? Do they point you out? Do they automatically know that you are a Malaysian? Um, the other Koreans. I really wish people wouldn't behave that way, though. I really wish people would leave other people alone and just let people live their own lives. But unfortunately, we don't live in such a society or a world for that matter. Yeah, A. Marie, yeah, she's black and Korean, I believe. Wow, and they just come at you like that, huh? You know, it's kind of weird because they don't care how it makes you feel. They don't even care about how it makes another person feel, right? They just come at you, oh, well, you're not Korean or you're not this or you're not that. And they just don't have any regard about a person's feelings and how it may make you feel uncomfortable. Wow, your teacher called you a rat and was still allowed to teach after calling you something like that? That's extremely unprofessional. Wow. Was there anything you can do that you report to teacher? Good. People have that superiority complex. They believe that, they are the purest, you know. Yeah, I'm glad you got her fired. She should have been fired. That's extremely unprofessional. Not to mention racist. Who was she to judge another person like that? She just flat out called you a rat. Good. Good.
Okay. So you just have to tell the principal. Down this way, you have to not just tell the principal, go to the school board. The parents got to be come for it. So by the students just saying, "Hey, my teacher just called me a rat," that just won't fly, especially for black students. No, the teacher would not get fired just for that. It would take all kind of extra stuff to be done. The parents have to come. And raise all kind of heck.
Exactly, Clint Pop. I agree with you. What grown adult calls a kid a rat? It's unfortunate though. We have some sorry adults now, some really terrible adults out here. It's unfortunate. Dane, do me a favor, take over. I gotta take care of something. I'll be right back. Dane.
Yeah, I'm here.
Take over for me, okay? And Look after our young people, okay? I'll be right back.
People say I act more Korean since I live in Korea, and my dad died. So I'm just with my mom, who's Korean. Okay. Well, yeah, it's probably more often than true. That's why some families, when they got some grandparents, when they got mixed grandkids, especially the black side, they try to, um, get their grandkids so they can see their family and always live like to be black and stuff like that, because they're not going to really be accepted as white in the white culture and stuff like that. They'll just be seen as black regardless. So you can't have a black child thinking that they're white and try to do the things that white people do, uh, and can get away with, or be given a slap on the wrist. That's not going to happen for black kids. They'll be seen as more adult, more grown than they actually are. Being having more responsible. They're not seen as little kids that make kids mistakes and stuff like that. They're seen as more sexual, more everything, more adult than they actually are. I mean, I think she's talking stereotypes. Could be. But it could be mannerism, way of talking. Probably your accent probably got a little heavier, because if you hearing Korean every day all the time, you're gonna eventually pick up the accent. It won't be completely, but it'll be enough where it could throw you off. Like even it could happen to regular people. Like when I went to Job Corps, I had nothing but Hispanic roommates, and I started, using Spanish words, and I picked up accent. I didn't even know I picked up an accent. I didn't know till I went home and I was talking to my mother and I was telling her something. And I just responded like I normally respond. And it's like, okay, will you please speak English? But I was speaking English, but I had picked up a Spanish accent, and then I was using some Spanish words on top of that. Because I gotten used to it. I had like a year with these roommates. But you're right. They didn't say I was more Spanish. They just was like, you've been hanging around with your roommates too long. Or since when did you learn to speak Spanish? I really didn't learn to speak Spanish. I just knew a few Spanish words, few terms, a lot of curse words. Yeah, like yeah, so if I'm telling somebody to shut up or be quiet, I would use the Spanish term. If I was cursing somebody out, I would use the Spanish term. Well, I'm from America, LA specifically, and people say that my Korean accent has gotten heavier. It might have. It might not seem that way to you, probably to them. hmm Especially if they've been away from you for a while. And you might be unknowingly using more Korean than you normally did. So they assume that's you being more Korean. You sounded you sounded more Korean. Yeah. But I think what is also a combination of the both. Probably ain't too much, but they also been away from you for a while. See, even she's telling it that you sounded more Korean. Probably because you're being, you know, being corrected. This is the way to pronounce that, and then you speak in Korean a lot more. So yeah. Shooks. When a lot more French were used to be spoken in Louisiana, they can tell where you from by the way you spoke French. What part of Louisiana that you was from. And I wouldn't be surprised it's the same way anywhere else. So and even sometimes the way you pick up is speaking English. If you come from a family where there's a heavy French accent, so when you learn to talk, you're talking with that accent. I can and schooling will kind of iron some of that off, but there still be a certain term or accent that just kind of clings. Um, I have a couple of cousins by marriage. They live in Texas now. They live in Texas now. They've been living in Texas for at least 20 years, but you can still tell they're from Louisiana because their accented English is definitely French. Not to mention the phrases they will use. Shoot. Yeah, so I was a little confusion for elders when I was a kid because even though I was born in Louisiana, by the time I was learning to talk, lived in California, and and then if I've been hanging around some elders for quite a bit, I would pick up the way they spoke. So it was a little confusing, Hey baby, who your people? Where you from? And stuff like that. And you'd be like, yeah. So I learned at a young age, um, fairly young age, what my mom's name was, what my grandfather's name was, who my grandmother was, and stuff like that, because that's the main thing they ask you. Who your people? He's like, my mom is so and so, my grandfather is so and so. Oh yeah, you're so and so's granddaughter. Of course. But I had elders as a babysitter, so whatever elder I was with, and she was babysitting me for quite some time, not just hours. We're talking about days, months, years, and stuff like that. My mom would never depend on just one babysitter. Not to mention, some people think you're taking advantage, because hey, cute little kid. Every elder woman was like a potential grandma, you know.
Yeah, well, we don't want to get too uh,
Mm-hmm.
deep into
Storyland. I'm
yeah.
pulling.
Um, we're getting ready to shut down a little bit anyway.
Twins are
So we want to give out some announcements. So Ladies Night will return this Saturday, everybody. We will be airing Ladies Night this Saturday. We took off this weekend for Ladies Night. Um, Wanted to give the ladies time to rest and enjoy the beginning of the new year. But Ladies Night will be back at a scheduled time on Saturday night. And we want to grow Ladies Night. We want to encourage ladies to come up on the panel. Hey, it's a ladies' night. It's all about the ladies. So we definitely want to grow that roster. We have some big plans for ladies' night. We would like to have more ladies involved. So look for Ladies Night 2 returns this Saturday coming up at his regular scheduled time at, 8 o'clock Central Day?
Um,
It's like 8 o'clock Eastern.
It's 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we didn't have Ladies Night this Saturday for those who was looking. Oh, it will make a return. We got some new shows we're going to launch this year. You know, we got the Night Dreams. Night Dreams is coming. So we got a couple of things that we want to do this year. We want to change some things. And remember, we want to think differently this year. You know, we want to try to break the negative influence that this large contingent of negative Black people that have over this part of YouTube. You know, we have to break that influence. They got us doing crazy things. They got us paying to be insulted. I mean, that's insulting in itself. You're paying someone to insult you. And if they're not insulting you, they're scamming you. Like I said, do not get caught up because someone has a degree. That doesn't mean you should listen to them. Because they have a degree or a master's degree or a PhD, that does not mean you should be listening to them. See, we're conditioned to obey these people who have degrees. And we're being scammed by many of them. You know, one of them, I can't even understand why Black people are even listening to this guy after what he did with Black people with those business schools. You guys know who I'm talking about, the one that was exposed by the Asian dude. You know who he is. I can't believe Black folks even listening to this guy after all of that. But it is what it is. So, you know, we want to do some things differently here in 2020. But for things to be different, you have to do different. You can't just talk about it. You can't continue to do the same thing and expect something new to happen. You have to start supporting the right people, start supporting the people who are fighting for Black people, and let's start making some subtle changes. Like, you know, I always say change starts in a subtle way. You can start doing small things now that'll pay big later on. And we're going to talk about those things in future shows, small things that we can do now to slowly change and turn this thing around. Like one of the things we're talking about bringing back is Black love. You know, we're going to be hard and heavy on Night Dreams promoting Black love. That show is going to be dedicated to Black love. We're going to take it back to where Black men used to really be in love with Black women. There used to be such a time, people. I know it don't seem like it now with all of these manosphere people and sissy bins or whatever, but at one point, the Black man used to be in love with the Black woman. I know, I've seen it. I come out of that era. So we're going to take it back there. We're going to rekindle that. We're going to reconstruct that. We're going to bring that back. That's what Night Dreams is all about. So we got some new things we're going to be doing here. We got some new content coming. Some new innovative things we're going to try. Got some cutting edge stuff. We do hope to launch MTech sometime this year. So as far as the Black Tank is on hiatus until further notice. We was going to air the Black Tank. We don't know when we're going to air that. That's still up in the air. We did have 2 episodes with some African brothers, but some situations happened. So the Black Tank is currently shut down until we decide to revamp it or to get some new people for it. Okay, but it's still our show. It's still on our network. We're just not airing it right now until we get some things straightened out. And look for Dame and Abby will be back this Saturday for a ladies' night. I don't know what they're going to be talking about yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be very interesting. But we will be back. Look for my show to return, the the Overdrive 3G. I may be renaming the Overdrive 3G to something else as we get our new graphics with our new graphic designer. We're going to get our new graphics coming in pretty soon. So we're going to have some new looks coming up here in the future. And we're going to be working on the shows behind the scenes. We got presentations we got to work on. So, we're hard at work over here at the Ebony Star Network. We're also going to be launching a new channel this year. So, a lot of things we want to do. But this year, we definitely want to do something different. You don't want to keep doing the same thing you did last year, because you saw what happened last year and where that's gotten us. It's gotten us nowhere. It's time to start doing something different this year. What do you think, Dane?
Yeah, it's time to do something different. Take what we learned over this last year and just go forward.
Hold on, let me see what the chat's. What is the chat saying? I can't see the chat.
Okay. It looks like the girls are not straight.
Yeah, Kim Yoon. You guys are welcome to participate. Saturday, Ladies Night is a show that we do here on the Ebony Star Network. Matter of fact, Dame, tell them about Ladies Night. Dame is the host of Ladies Night.
Okay. Ladies' Night is where ladies come together and we talk about different things. We probably have a topic, but we don't always just stay on that one topic. And we just get together and talk like we would any other time. Give our opinions, stuff like that. We'll drop the link in the chat for anybody that want to come up and join us and discuss it.
Speaking of that, okay, Dane, drop the link in.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna drop the link, and if anybody want to come up and kick it with us before we go up the air, you can. For those who are new, if you want to come up, just click on the link. You can come up here on the panel with me and Dame and just talk about different things, whatever you want to talk about. This is the part of the show where we let the people in the chat come up. And Ladies Night, we encourage the ladies to come up on the panel because that's what it's for. It's for the ladies only. To do whatever y'all want to do. Okay, Dame, you go ahead and take it over. I gotta take care of some business, so drop the link and close it down when you're done. Okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Peace, power, and unity. I'm out of here. This is Maximum Black. I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Going to turn you over to Dame, my co-host. She'll ride with you from here on out. Peace, power, and unity.
Okay. Just so you know, okay. All right. I understand you're not straight, but we do promote black love between men and women. So you might not be able to give too much opinion on that. But for ladies night, it's just a discussion of the topic or what's going on in the world, or just having fun, just hanging out. And yeah. So, okay, I lost track of what I was talking about the last time. Oh, okay. Yeah, Kendall, we are the mothers and fathers of civilization. The only way we could give birth to the entire human race is through black love. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Okay, I thought pansexual just mean open to anything. Wait. I'm not used to talking this way with teenagers. I'm usually trying to, encourage them to do other things besides sex or to be careful and protect themselves. Too young to be mothers. Y'all got a whole life in front of y'all. Yep, you don't want to be 17 with 3 kids. Okay. Let's see. What was the last thing I was talking about? Oh, then again, I sometimes forget with the kids and start talking to them like they're a young adult. Okay. And mm, okay. Uh,
Okay. Oh, can you hear me?
yeah. Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay, let me say something. Okay. All right, people. This is not a LGBT channel. Okay, this is not. We don't support LGBT. We don't support homosexuality or any of its alities. Okay, now we're not hating people or whatever, but we are a pro-black channel, and we only recognize a union between a man and a female. We don't recognize any other union. We only recognize two sexes, male and female. That's it. We don't recognize any other sex. We don't engage in any other that stuff. So if you were misled to this channel, we just want to set it straight. We are not supporters of homosexuality, LGBTG, or whatever you want to call it. Or we're not in support of any of that. We are straight heterosexuals, male and female, and we don't recognize any unnatural unions. The only union that we recognize is one between a male and a female. That's it. All right. Now we don't discourage people from coming to our channel and partaking, into our activities. But do not be mistaken. We are not supporters of homosexuality, LGBT, any of the rhetoric. We are non-supportive of all of that. And we only recognize a union between a man and a woman. That is the only union we recognize. We do not recognize any other union. Excuse me, go on mute.
Okay.
Go on mute, please. We don't recognize any other union except for that of a male and female or a man and a woman. That's it. Now, we don't want to offend anyone, okay? But we ask you to respect who we are and what we stand for. All right? We're not going to engage in any kind of rhetoric in here that suggests in any way, shape, or form that we are supportive of homosexuality, LGBT, or any of that stuff. Because we do not. We do not support same-sex marriage. We're not supporters of that here. We only recognize, I'll say it for the last time, one union. That's between a male and female. The only natural union that we recognize. We do not recognize any other kind of unions. Okay? Just wanted to get that out there in case people start getting ahead of themselves and getting beside themselves. We're not that kind of channel. We are a pro-black channel, We promote positive relations between black men and black women, straight heterosexual black men and straight heterosexual black women. That's it. We do not engage in any kind of homosexuality or any kind of that. We don't engage in any of that here. Okay? Hopefully, you guys can understand that and respect that. If you want to stay, you're welcome to stay. But understand that this is who we are and this is where we stand. Okay? Thank you. Peace, power, and unity.
Sorry, I'm gonna apologize. My ear was because I saw Ezekiel's response, and that that's just my response to that idea. But I'm sorry. I wasn't. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should have went on mute before that. But okay, Ezekiel. I don't know what you were saying right there, but you're gonna have to delete it. All right. Bye, Kling Pop, Kim, Naya. Yeah, y'all get some sleep. Y'all said it's 2 o'clock in the morning there. I don't know if y'all have school in the morning. Even if it's distant learning, it's still school. Ugh. Okay. With that said and done. Oh, sorry, Min June. You hardly spoke. I kind of forgot. All right, bye, y'all. Look at me. Oh my goodness, I'm so used to waving. I'm waving like y'all could see me wave. Okay. Well, that goes to show you that not everybody in the bushes and the clouds are adults. I'm going to have to, when I get through here, find out what happened to our filter. Yeah, I've gone too long. I've been going too long without my CPAP, so it just makes me prone to sleeping more. I had packed it away while I was cleaning up, and I hadn't re-unpacked it. So, except for when I was cooking, I was just pretty much sleeping. My aunt was complaining I didn't move from the chair for 4 days. I was like, nah, it couldn't have been 4 days. I know it was a whole day. But I'm gonna wrap it up, y'all, because nobody's come up. I don't really have much I want to say. Hey, Max, you back?
Yeah, I wanted to answer what Naya said. Well, here's the thing. In society, you have rights or whatever, and those rights have to be respected under the law. Okay, but what I'm saying is that we don't recognize the only union that we recognize is one between a man and a woman. That's it. We don't recognize any other union. Any other union to us is unnatural. Now, I understand that that's not a popular stance with a lot of people. I get all of that. But I'm not saying that we should hate people because they have a different way of living their life. I'm just saying that we don't have to agree with everything. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if we offended anyone. That wasn't our intention, but we have a certain channel that we are maintaining here, and we want to make that clear. We're not here to offend anyone, okay? But please don't come in here defending us. Respect us, we'll respect you.
Okay. All right. On that, we're going to end it. The girls got to go to bed anyhow. They say it's 2 o'clock in the morning where they at. And let's wrap it up. Kendall, I'll holler at y'all. Asan, Belle, Mika. Okay, Easy E. All right. Thank y'all for coming. We'll see y'all next time. If not, then definitely for ladies' night. Okay.
Yeah, son. There's mad kids out there getting cream for the 9-5, bro. Yeah, and I've been doing this for a long time. You know, shoot the game, going for mine. Alright. And this is the year when mad cats get peeled. So I'ma spark this line, kick the reel. Bang them out. With all this chaos in the realms of the street, your local street dog got to make ends meet. The average Joe's far too slow for the ghetto pro. You better know, when I hit the streets, I like to glow, I like to glisten. And at the same time, stay low, listen, motherfuck the thing. I'm pursuing the dope. My stilo is symbolic to a kilo. Cash is popping, cokies cooking, beefs copping. Ain't that some shit? A player that used to live in riches, now a sticky kid. Caught up in a ditch. In 94, Giuliani kicked down the door. In 95, niggas flip to stay alive. Peeling caps while I laugh. In the stats, the 4.5. Remy in the glass, spark the boom, then I blast. They wanna confine me, sneak up from behind me. Bust a cap in my back and put me where they can't find me. They hate to see a young player pay. I don't wanna see that. They rather see him spray. But I'm like Nitty, a Terminator, squeeze the lead off. Using verbs and nouns like rounds to blow your head off. Hitting up spots, heating up blocks. Investing in stocks like Colombian blow crops. I'm out to get the cream and ain't no doubt in my mind. Fuck this broke shit, I'm hit, I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for this. And you wanna put your hands in the air. I get down for mine. I get down for this. On the regular shit, hands in the air. I get down for mine. I get down for this. And you wanna put your hands in the air. I get down for mine. I get down for this. On the regular shit, I hear you wanna be a player. I ain't someplace you bet. Let's play a game of real nigga roulette. With this a DOA as I spray the melee. Contact and punctuation is compared to AK. You in a day. Overdose for pure funk. I'm fucking off like Tommy Gibb. For karma's a boot smoke. Decapitated rappers in my trunk. I'm sick. Pumping skunk. Bouncing with my click. Popping mega jump. I'm getting blank while these clowns be zigzagging. Once you talk about flipping keys, come on, you're nickel bagging. I'm blasting off wings and making doubters believe it. You see, I was packing heaters when jokers was banging cheerleaders. Ain't nothing changed, it's still the same in the rap game. I'm known for banging rookies out the frame. Y'all done forgot who was the pimp from the start. Sipping vintage wine, eating a la carte. I'm phenomenal from the abdominal. Far from comical, lyrics are sticking the brains like barnacles. Never sweet, I'm bringing the drama to the street with techniques and rolling in fleets. Ain't nothing sweet about the street, so I'm poetically ill. I'm pure like cook up and lyrics shine like fish scale. I got the banger at your throat and you ain't showing no signs. K-Dep, let them know I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for this. And you wanna put your hands in the air.